Good morning from the heart of New York City. This is Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast dedicated to one thing: to learn and apply to eat better daily. I'm your host, Angela Shurina from CreateYourself.today, your personal nutritionist, your personal health and wellness coach, your fellow biohacker, and just someone with a lot of passion for healthy eating, healthy food, nutrition, feeling your best, looking your best, performing your best on all levels. And as we know, food is probably number one predictor of how you're gonna look, how you're gonna feel, how you're gonna perform on all levels, because food makes us. Every single cell in our body, every single cell in your body and in your brain is made of the food you eat. Every 7 years or so, every single cell in your body is rebuilt and replaced, and the raw materials are what? Our food. So what do you want to be made of? Pizza or fresh fruits, vegetables, animal products, nuts and seeds, foods that are designed by millions and billions of years of evolution? Or you want to be made of something that was made in a lab through some questionable experiments? So something to think about. But besides that, let's get to our topic today. And our topic today is a little bit of everything, but stubborn fat especially. A lot of people ask me, how do I get rid of stubborn fat around my waist, in my belly area? How do I get rid of cellulite or fat on my hips? This comes from a lot of women, hips, legs, and just, how do I get better skin tone so I don't have these weird fat accumulation that do not look good on the beach, especially, this question is asked a lot during summer, that is right now. So how do we get rid of stubborn fat and, fat that doesn't look beautiful, and how do we stay lean? Well, the main predictor and the main contributor to stubborn belly fat, to cellulite, actually your blood sugar fluctuations or blood sugar spikes. And what causes those blood sugar spikes and fluctuations that can be traced even 3 months from a meal that was high in carbs, high in processed sugar, in processed grains that made your blood sugar spike? Can you imagine? Your body remembers that even for 3 months after. And I forgot what was the test, but you can go to a clinic or whatever, to a lab, and they can make a test, and they can see how poorly or well your blood sugar was managed for the last 3 months. How cool is that? The body remembers a lot of things for a long time. Anyway, so blood sugar fluctuations. How do you avoid those? How do you keep your blood sugar stable? And why so many people these days have this stubborn fat, especially belly fat problem? Well, because these days, food industry is just blooming with not a good stuff, with processed stuff, full of sugars, full of refined carbohydrates, and those things especially bad for your blood sugar and your blood sugar fluctuations. So anything that is loaded with sugar, even your granola bar that is basically candy made of better materials, processed grains, pastries, bagels, cookies, high sugary drinks like sodas or coffee drinks, or even smoothies and juices. If you consume a lot of them, they're gonna spike your blood sugar a lot, because, for example, juices, especially fruit juices, they have no fiber in them, and your blood sugar will spike a lot when you consume them. But especially, you want to be avoiding processed food with processed sugar, with processed grains, with sweeteners of any kind. Dairy, your favorite yogurts, your candies, almost anything and everything these days in processed foods that come in a package, foods that were made in a factory, they all are loaded with processed sugars, with processed grains, and those things, again, they make your blood sugar spike the most, and that's what contributes to belly fat, to stubborn fat on thighs, to cellulite. I used to have cellulite on my legs and on my butt and on my hips, and I used to have more belly fat. Now it's just non-existent. And once I started to control my blood sugar all the time, and it doesn't spike ever because I got so good with my nutrition, I don't have it anymore, and I have six-pack all the time. My legs are really lean. It matters, blood sugar control really makes a difference. And these days, I'm consuming a lot of vegetables. I don't eat fruits almost never, even though, I don't think that fruits here and there is bad for you. It's just the amount, the quantity, and the kind of fruits, is it fresh fruit? Is it dried fruits? But again, what you want to remember, if you want to once and for all get rid of stubborn fat, start getting rid of it. If you want to get rid of cellulite, you got to make sure that your blood sugar doesn't spike. And there are actually a few tricks, quote unquote, that you can make your blood sugar spike less, even when you eat things like pasta or pizza, or even if you eat a piece of candy once in a while. So what do you do to make your blood sugar spike less? Well, first of all, when you eat something with a lot of carbohydrates, with fast carbohydrates that can be found either in processed food, but also fast carbohydrates can be found in sweet fruits like bananas or pineapples. So first of all, you want to make sure that with that meal, you consume a lot of fiber. That's why whole fruits are so much better than, for example, juices, because the fruit sugar in fruit, the absorption of it is slowed down by the fiber. But also when you're consuming something like pasta, you might be considering eating pasta with the most fiber, first of all. And then the second trick on top of that is to add fat to it, some kind of healthy fat. So for example, if you're eating pasta, then maybe pasta sauce or even cheese, not such a bad idea for your blood sugar control. That being said, if you consume too much of pasta and cheese together, you're just going to get into a coma no matter what, because consuming those two together have also negative effect when over-consumed. That's, for example, Italians, the way that it was in the culture, they always consumed pasta with some, olive oil, not a lot of pasta actually, but a lot of veggies, a lot of olive oil, that was not causing any blood sugar fluctuations because of the amount and because of all the added fiber in vegetables and all the added fats in either pesto sauce or olive oil in some form or the other. So fiber, fat actually slow down the absorption of sugar. That being said, again, fat and sugar is in processed food together everywhere, but the amount matters and the kind of fats and sugars matters too. Those candies, those snacks, highly processed, are actually designed to hit your blood sugar to hit your sweet receptors the fastest. So food are designed that way to make you eat more and crave them more. So most probably your blood sugar will spike a lot when you eat carbs, fast carbohydrates and processed carbohydrates in processed foods. So fiber, healthy fats, protein also, if you consume it with let's say again you're consuming pasta, right, or you're consuming pizza. So actually the presence of healthy protein like, I don't know, fish or chicken will slow down the absorption of carbohydrates too. So from metabolic perspective, it's always better to eat fat and carbohydrate together, but again slowly and not in big amounts, because anything taken to the extremes will turn against you. And another thing that been proven by science, apple cider vinegar slows down your digestion and helps your body to regulate blood sugar. 1 tablespoon after your meal or at the end of your meal will slow down your digestion and will help your body to control your blood sugar better. So apple cider vinegar. Also apple cider vinegar, even without meal, will help you to control your blood sugar fluctuations and will assist in weight loss and fat burning. But do not drink like some of my clients did in the past. Do not drink apple cider vinegar on an empty stomach by itself or take shots of it. Always dilute it with water or with water or some kind of other drink, or with your food, with your maybe salad dressing, I don't know, but don't drink it straight because it can damage your digestive system and your passages towards your digestive system starting in your mouth. So blood sugar fluctuations, let's recap: fiber, healthy fat, apple cider vinegar, protein that will all slow down your digestion and absorption of sugars. And by the way, dried fruits is not a great option for you to snack on, because that causes a blood sugar fluctuation, blood sugar spikes really fast, because there is very little water, not that much fiber, and a lot of concentrated fruit sugar. And then again, you want to always choose whole foods, because in whole foods there is very little probability that you're gonna make your blood sugar spike really fast, because even when you're eating sweet fruits, there is still you gotta chew it, and then there is water, and you cannot eat a lot of it really fast. Unless you're consuming smoothie, that can spike your blood sugar a lot. And on the side note, just think about processed food versus whole foods, and how processed foods at the stores were made for convenience, not necessarily for maximum nutrition at all. For convenience for you, so you could cook it easier, so you could eat it right away from the shelf, maybe right at the store, and also for convenience of the producer and the grocery store owner, because those processed foods, they can stay on the shelf forever. Not even bacteria will eat it. That's how loaded it is with all kinds of preservatives and salts and sugars that make all the nutrients in foods just non-existent. So processed foods were not bred for your nutrition or your health or anything good, but for convenience, your convenience to eat, and the producer and store owner convenience to store it and transport it. And also, and then, they fortified all those processed foods with vitamins or fiber. They even made, that Wonder Bread that had protein and vitamins and fiber and everything. But humans do not know still a lot about foods, how it's made to the very last cell and digit and nutrient, how nature did it, what we still know very little about how food, how our body works together. So eating whole foods is always safer than indulging in the world of processed foods, no matter how good it sounds on paper. If it's made in a lab, it's an experiment, and you are voluntarily taking part in it, rescuing your health. So think about that, and think about blood sugar spikes and how they contribute to fat on your belly. That's just how biochemistry works. So make sure that you do not consume highly processed sugars, highly processed grains, and whenever you're eating meals high in carbohydrates, like pasta, for example, remember that the amount matters. Consume it with some good fiber from your veggies, consume it with some healthy fat like olive oil, get a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, have it with you maybe in a small bottle, or in a salad dressing. Order, some vinegar-based salad dressing that's gonna help you to control blood sugar too, and eat a lot of, not a lot of, but eat whole food proteins, whole food fats, and whole foods in general, because processed foods were not made for your health or your nutrition, but for convenience. And as it was true back in 20s and 30s, and it is still true now, because food business is still business and profits rule the world of business. So this is it for today. The cause of belly fat, of thigh fat, of stubborn pain are blood sugar fluctuations and spikes, and you can control it through fiber, fat, consuming whole foods with protein, healthy fats, and apple cider vinegar at the end of your meal. And that's it for today, guys. Let me know if you have questions, if you need more advice on how to better control through proper eating your blood sugar, and what foods might abuse it the most in your diet. If you have any kind of question about that, then shoot me email to Angela@createyourself.today, Angela@createyourself.today. And till next time, guys, eat healthy, control your blood sugar, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.